Most people are intimidated by cooking Indian food at home, but today I'm going to show you it can actually be quite simple. I'm Divya Gugnani here at Tabla in New York City, so let's go behind the burner and meet the chef. So I'm here with Executive Chef Floyd Cardoz. Floyd, I see lots of colorful and I'm assuming flavorful ingredients in front of us. What are we making?
We are going to make a very traditional curry, but a very simple traditional curry. And this comes from the south of India. It's a black pepper chicken curry. It's basically a stew chicken. Most curries are stews. It's a stew with spice. If you're using chicken, use chicken legs because it has more fat to it, but you can take the fat off. At the same time, when you cook it, it doesn't get dry. You have canola oil, and I love canola oil. It's my favorite ingredient because it's got a little lower flash point. And when you're cooking Indian food, you don't want your oil to be so hot that it burns the spices. We have minced garlic, minced ginger. You can't really have Indian food without garlic and ginger. And then we have this beautiful yellow turmeric. It has this nice, slight bitter flavor, earthy flavor. Cumin and tamarind. And the tamarind is to balance off the acid in the dish, along with organic tomatoes. I'm using canned tomatoes because I think canned tomatoes, when you can get fresh tomatoes, are great. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to first season our chicken with salt.
Okay.
And then we're going to grind our black pepper, and then we're going to go cook the dish.
Let's do it.
So we're going to put our chicken in a bowl, and I'm going to season it with salt.
What kind of salt do you use?
I like to use kosher salt for meat. Anytime you're making a stew or braise, a trick is to always pre-season it and let it sit for about 15 to 20 minutes. So while my chicken is marinating with the salt, I'm going to grind the black pepper. And I like to use a coffee grinder because I think a coffee grinder is a great tool to have for fresh spices. So we're going to start with
our canola oil.
Canola oil. And you want to make sure that your pan is hot but not screaming hot. As you can see, it's shimmering. And then I'm going to add my cumin and the curry leaves.
And where do you get your curry leaves?
I buy this from any Indian store. I grow it in my home.
Look at you, the gardener again.
But, if you don't get curry leaves, you could substitute Thai basil. And then we add it right into the pan.
Yep.
Add our onions, minced onions.
And is the goal with the onions to get them translucent or to brown them?
With this dish, I don't make them brown. I like to make them translucent because, again, I want the texture in the dish. Okay, and now the ginger and garlic is cooked. I'm going to add black pepper and the turmeric. And next, we're going to add the tomatoes. And I add half of that. It's 2 cups.
Okay.
That's good.
Beautiful.
And we're going to let all this come together. So once this all comes together, I'm going to add my chicken. We add a little bit of salt to season. I'm going to add some tamarind.
Yeah.
And lastly, I'm going to add 2 cups of water. So I'm going to cover it with foil, or if you have a lid, and we're going to let it kind of stew at the same time. I like my curries a little looser.
Yeah,
but if you want it thicker, you can, reduce it down even more. Chicken curry.
So Floyd, it smells so good we have to eat.
Yeah, we do. Why don't you start first? There's some rice to go with it.
Rice. Look at this beautiful rice. And so, what do you have? Cashews in here?
I have cashews and
raisins.
raisins.
Golden raisins. It's coming apart really nicely. It's nicely cooked. Really delicious. Incredibly flavorful. A little bit spicy. You really taste the black pepper.
You know what I love about this dish is that it reminds me of India. It's got these flavors. It's exotic, but it's simple and easy to make.
So cheers, Floyd. Thank you so much for having us. Stay tuned to Behind the Burner, where we give you the tips, tricks, and techniques that are lighting the culinary world on fire. For the recipe, Q&A, photos, and more, visit behindtheburner.com.